Hello, this is Donnie Smith, and in this video we're just going to do a quick scenario of two shops, body shops that are hiring new employees, and kind of talk about what the smart employee is and how you keep a job, and what's the best thing to do whenever trying to make a good employee or a good technician, coming in, especially as someone straight out of school without a lot of experience, and trying to get your foot in the door and make the right decisions. Because times are changing. It's just not the same world that it used to be. There's legal issues and things you shouldn't do, and it sometimes seems unfair. Seems like you're overworked and doing things that maybe you're not getting paid for, or you're doing things that sometimes it seems like the more you do, the more they put on you, the more work. But we're going to talk about some of those things and kind of see how this scenario works out, in this video. So anyway, first thing we're going to talk about is playing it safe, because sometimes it's safe, not to do things. You can't get in trouble for something if you didn't do it right. But if you eliminate the possibilities of things that could go wrong, the mistakes that you could make, that's a pretty safe place to be in. And you've heard the saying, what happens if you stick your neck out, you get it cut off. So we're just going to kind of talk about this situation in a couple of shops. Two employees, new employees at two different shops have been hired, and they're straight out of school. And they don't know a whole lot. They've been hired to help out the body man. And the business owner there, he's busy as always. Most businesses, especially body shop owners, that it's busy. They got to deal with the customers. They got to deal with the technicians. They've got phone calls, and it's just a real busy time. And they don't really have the time to spend with new employees like they should. And most of them feel like they should spend more time with them, but it's pretty difficult. And that's the good thing about it, at a school when training for these type of programs. That's what your instructor's for, is to help you more of that one-on-one through the steps and the problems that you have. Now, I don't think it's right to fix every problem before it happens, fix every mistake, or eliminate any mistakes from happening. I don't think that really teaches students well. Sometimes I think you got to stand back and let the things happen, let them make the mistakes, and then show them how to correct it. Because if you're over there correcting every mistake before they ever make it, they really aren't going to learn. So I think it's important to step back and let them try to do it as much as they can without your assistance. After they've been taught, they step back and let them do the different tasks. But once you start a new job, it becomes very difficult. The technicians may be paid by the flag hour. The manager, owner, he's very busy, and so it's kind of difficult to spend the time that they need to with new employees. So anyway, they get hired at these jobs, hired to help the body man out. And shop A, the owner goes back there, first couple of days he's hired, and he sees that the new technician that he hired to help out as the body man's helper, he's over there in the paint department. And it kind of aggravates him. I hired this guy to help out our body man. That's we're needing help there. And I come out here and he's with the paint guy. So he walks over there and asks him, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Well, I was just over here, trying to help out the paint guy a little bit, and there's really nothing to do over there, at the body shop. I mean, with the body man. So I came over here to help out." And the owner thought, "Well, it's not really what I was wanting you to do, but that's fine. I'll go ahead and just do that until that job. He's supposed to have a job in later today, and get back over there with him and help him out." Anyway, let's go to shop B. Kind of the same scenario. He walks into the shop, and the new employee isn't doing nothing. So he goes over there and asks him. He says, "What are you doing?" And the new employee says, "There's nothing to do." And the owner thinks, "Well, that's true. There is nothing to do." And that's how the nature of this business is. This business, we all know that the body shop business is feast or famine. It's either too busy or not busy enough. And you're right. He knows he's a good kid, good technician, and he knows he's going to do real well there. So anyway, a couple of weeks go by, and they go back into the shop, and at the shop A, he sees that technician over there, or the new hire over there messing with the equipment. And he thinks, again, I walk in here and he's not doing what he's, helping out the body tech. So he goes over there and asks him, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I'm moving some of this equipment around a little bit. I talked to the body man, and we talked about it, and he suggested, well, I asked him, if there's anything I could do to help, until we get the next job in." And he said, if we move this equipment around, it would really help our cycle time. So, him and I has been doing that a little bit, and that's what I'm doing right now. As soon as the next car comes in later today, we're going to get busy and get started on it. And that employee thinks about it, and he goes, "Well, yeah, that's okay. That'll work." Okay, he goes back to shop B, and same scenario. Walk in, and the technician is, the new hire's not doing anything. And he asks him, "Well, what are you doing?" He says, "Well, there's nothing to do. The job's over in the paint shop now. Our next job's not scheduled in right now, so we just got a little bit of downtime." And so the boss thinks about it, and he thinks, "Well, you're right. You're a good kid. You're a good technician, and that's right." And he started thinking, "But we could make this time more productive. I could have." He started thinking of things for the technician to do, but you know how it is. The phone starts ringing, customers coming in. He says, "Well, I'll get to that later. I'm gonna have to get with him and spend some time with him." And actually, the owner felt a little guilty because he didn't have enough time to properly train him. So anyway, this goes on back and forth, several times, and next time the boss comes into shop A, and they're both working real hard. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and the employee was happy. The boss was happy, and he went over and he told the new hire. He said, "Man, good job. You're doing great. You're over here helping out, and we're getting this work out faster. That's good." Same scenario at shop B. He walks in there and he sees both of them working hard. He's proud. He knew he was going to work out. He just knew that the new hire needed a little bit of time to get in the groove with things. And this goes on for several times, kind of the same way, the feast or famine. But anyway, something happens in this town, and a big shop opens up. If you could, like the Walmart of body shops comes into town. And it really slows the business down at these two other body shops, and they see a big decrease in revenue, and they know that decisions are going to have to be made. They're going to have to cut the budget, they're going to have to save money or make more money, but they're going to have to do something. So shop A, he thinks about it and tries to determine what he needs to do. And the most obvious thing to do is get rid of the low man on the totem pole. I mean, that'll save money. It's a quick fix, and that will, and that happens a lot. But he starts thinking about it. He goes, "Well, if we do that, I wouldn't have someone helping out, with, working with the equipment, or over there helping the painter when he's slow." And he starts thinking about the things that this technician has done. And he thinks to himself, I can't do without him. I've got to have him. I just can't do without him. So he looks at it and he tries to figure other ways to cut the budget. At shop B, same thing. And the employee, thinks about the low man on the totem pole, and he thinks, well, there's really nothing for him to do. He's a good technician. He works hard when he has stuff, but we really don't have enough for him. There's just nothing for him to do. So he goes and tells the employee, and the technician, the new technician says, "Well, why have you got to let me go?" "Well, we've seen a decrease in business, and there's a lot of times there's really nothing to do." Now, the point of this story is just kind of give you two scenarios. A lot of times when we think there's nothing to do, there's something to do. To keep you busy. It may not be what you want to do, and it may not be what you're, you know, you might say it's, what you wasn't hired to do. But if you will keep yourself busy, it will really pay off in the end. And I know a lot of times it feels like, it seems like the more I do, the more they expect me to do, the more responsibility they put on me. But that's true. But whenever they are putting that responsibility in you, they're also, having to rely on you. And if you build a connection at a business where they really have to rely on you for things to get done, I mean, it's a pretty hard decision when it comes time to have to let someone go. So I encourage you, if you're a new employee or a student at a school, try to look for things to do. Now, I'm not saying to go get into things you're not supposed to. That's not the point of this story. But, I know a lot of times, like at school, students, and, I think you may look for things not to do, so, they can say that, but there's really always something to do. I've worked at different industries, different businesses, and I think we all know there's always something to do. If you're a office person, I know they're kind of thing that gets backed up that when they say they don't have nothing to do, there's always filing to be done. But in a shop, in a school environment, there's different teams doing projects, different students working on different things. If there really is nothing to do for that student, he can find something to do. He can help other students work on their projects. He or she can, grab a broom and clean their work area. But if you'll get in the habit of this, young in school before you hit the work environment, it'll really help you out in the end. It'll really pay off, because whenever that employee sees that you know how to work, you know how to look for things to do when there is nothing to do, you'll become very valuable to them. So I encourage you to kind of throw "there's nothing to do" out of your vocabulary and do something.